In America, we're told we live in a free market economy, a system where hard work and innovation are rewarded and the government stays out of business. But peel back the rhetoric, and you'll find something closer to a socialist system for corporations and a capitalist system for everyone else. It's a system where the working class doesn't just labor for wages, they pay to work. 1. The subsidy paradox. Every year, billions in taxpayer money are handed out to corporations in the form of subsidies, tax breaks, and incentives. Agriculture, oil and gas, airlines, tech companies, pharmaceutical giants. Nearly every major industry has its hand in the public till. The official story is that these subsidies create jobs or stimulate innovation. In reality, their wealth transfers from the public to private power. The people who fund the government through payroll taxes, sales taxes, and income taxes, overwhelmingly the working class, are footing the bill for corporations that already hold record profits. So when a corporation gets a bailout or a tax credit, that money doesn't come from nowhere. It comes from the same people struggling to pay rent, afford health care, and keep food on the table. The working class funds the very corporations that underpay and overcharge them. 2. Privatized profits, socialized losses. When corporations thrive, their profits are private. When they fail, their losses become public. The 2008 financial crisis made that clear. Big banks gambled with the global economy, and when it all collapsed, taxpayers were forced to rescue them. Executives kept their bonuses, millions lost their homes. The same thing happened again during the COVID-19 pandemic. Massive relief funds flowed first to large corporations while ordinary people waited for meager stimulus checks. In this way, risk is socialized while reward is privatized. The government acts as a financial safety net, not for workers, but for corporations. That's not capitalism. That's a state-backed insurance policy for the wealthy. 3. Public money, private monopoly. Many of America's most celebrated corporate giants were built on public investment. The internet, GPS, touchscreens, microchips, and countless pharmaceutical breakthroughs all trace their origins to taxpayer-funded research. Once the technology becomes profitable, private corporations step in to monopolize and monetize it. The public takes the risk, the private sector takes the reward. It's a modern alchemy. Public spending turns into private wealth. 4. The corporate welfare state. Politicians love to denounce welfare, but rarely the kind that flows upward. The U.S. spends far more subsidizing corporations and defense contractors than it does supporting the poor. A working parent applying for food assistance faces endless scrutiny. A multinational corporation applying for a tax break gets a handshake and a press release. This double standard exposes the truth. The American economy doesn't hate socialism. It just reserves it for the rich. 5. The Fed and the illusion of the free market. The Federal Reserve's role in the economy further blurs the line between capitalism and central planning. By setting interest rates, buying corporate bonds, and stabilizing asset markets, the Fed acts as a kind of central planner for capital. When the stock market wobbles, the Fed intervenes. When wages stagnate, it stays silent. The system is engineered to preserve asset values, not livelihoods. The invisible hand isn't a market force, it's a policy choice. 6. Paying twice or more. For the working class, this structure means paying multiple times for the same privilege of survival. They pay taxes that finance corporate subsidies. They pay inflated prices because monopolies face little competition. They pay with stagnant wages as productivity gains are siphoned to shareholders. They even pay in debt, student loans, credit cards, mortgages, feeding financial institutions that were once bailed out with their own tax dollars. They're not just exploited at work. They're exploited at the checkout counter, in the tax code, and in the very structure of the economy. In short, the working class pays to work. 7. Ideological smoke and mirrors. Despite all this, the narrative of the free market persists, a story designed to keep workers blaming themselves or each other instead of questioning the system. When social programs for ordinary people are proposed, critics cry socialism. But when corporations demand bailouts, subsidies, or tax loopholes, it's called economic growth. When the working poor receive help, it's welfare. When corporations receive it, it's investment. This linguistic sleight of hand keeps the public divided while wealth continues to concentrate at the top. 8. The managed economy of the elite. At its core, corporate America is not operating in a truly competitive capitalist system. It's a managed economy, carefully engineered to protect capital, suppress labor, and socialize the costs of doing business. It's a partnership between state and corporate power, one that rewards failure at the top and punishes effort at the bottom. The rhetoric of freedom masks a reality of dependence. Corporations depend on public money, and the working class is made dependent on corporate wages that never quite cover the cost of living. 9. A system built on inversion. In genuine capitalism, risk and reward are supposed to align. Take a risk, earn a reward, fail, and you pay the price. But in corporate America, that logic has inverted. The powerful take the risks, the public pays the price, and the profits are siphoned upward. It's the same pattern everywhere, from Wall Street to Silicon Valley to the Pentagon. The outcome isn't accidental. It's structural. It's a quiet form of socialism, not for the people, but for profit. 10. The working class subsidizes its own oppression. In the end, what we call the economy is really a feedback loop of extraction. The working class creates value. That value is taxed and transferred to corporations. Corporations use that wealth to influence policy. Policy reinforces the same cycle. It's a system sustained by the illusion of fairness, but powered by dependence, where the people who keep society running are the ones underwriting the wealth of those who own it. The bottom line: America hasn't abolished socialism. It's simply privatized its benefits. The safety net exists, it just doesn't belong to you. Until that imbalance is named and confronted, workers will continue to pay, not just in taxes, but in time, in health, and in hope, for a system that charges them to participate in their own exploitation. The truth is simple. In corporate America, the working class pays to work.